All right, guys, welcome back. This is episode 2, day 2 of the Legal Mix Lounge. We are here today. I am Maya Reed, the moderator. I'm joined by Coach Parker. Coach Parker, how are you today?
I'm blessed. And yourself?
I'm feeling pretty good, pretty good. And then we have Dallas, the Chicago sports analyst. Dallas, how are you today?
I'm doing well, Maya. How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm good. I feel like we have a lot to talk about today. This is arguably one of the biggest games, even though it's part of the play-in. It's like people have been looking forward to these games more than some of the actual series themselves. But before we dive into those, I think we should just do a quick recap of yesterday. Dallas, if you want to talk about the picks, since we are now 1-0.
Yes. We 1-0. Phoenix Mercury blew the Washington Mystics out by 20 points yesterday. I said they would win running away, and they definitely ran away. Also, we said that the Wizards game would go over, and we said that the Pacers game would be a high-scoring game as well. Sabonis almost got that triple-double. He was 1 assist off. I told y'all he would at least get 8 assists, and he almost had the triple-double, and they did get the win because of that.
Perfect. So I guess now would be the perfect time to transition into today's games. We're going to start with the Spurs versus Grizzlies. So what do you think about tonight's game?
Okay, Spurs and the Grizzlies game. It'll be a good matchup. These teams have matched up in the playoffs plenty of times before. Even when I was younger, my uncle was the coach of the Grizzlies. I used to go to these games in that Memphis atmosphere, and it used to be amazing. Key players for this game, I think, will be the Spurs supporting cast. I think that they'll definitely be key to this game because Patty Mills, Rudy Gay, and Lonnie Walker will be essential to the success of the Spurs. Of course, Dejante Murray and Ja Morant is a great point guard matchup. It's going to be this guy, Patty. He's going to have to shoot the three. I think in order for the Spurs to be successful in this game, even have a chance, Patty Mills had to score over 10 points, really closer to the 15 range, hit a couple threes, and also provide his veteran leadership. He's been there plenty of times with the Spurs. He's going to make those free throws down the stretch of the game. He's going to make sure that the team is on one accord and making the right decision and right basketball winning plays, especially coming playoff time. For the Grizzlies, I believe the key player will be the big fella down low, along with Ja Morant, of course. He's the point guard, but I feel like the biggest key to the game for the Grizzlies would be them controlling the paint with Jonas Valanciunas. Jonas, he's a great post player. He's very aggressive. He's always going to rebound. He's always going to give you 110%. That's in the pick and roll game. He can pick and pop. He can just play bully ball. Ever since he's been in Toronto, even when they traded him for Gasol, this is why Memphis wasn't having a problem with making that trade for Marc Gasol, Defensive Player of the Year. They saw the potential in Jonas. He's just a monster. He's going to bully ball, 7-footers, face up, jab, spin, got every move around the rim. Also, his screen and roll game with Ja is amazing. I see him having about 20 and 10 tonight. Really 20 and 15. Memphis should win this game easy, as long as the big fella comes to play, and he always comes to play. So it's just about keeping him out of foul trouble.
All right, Coach Parker, do you want to dive in and talk about some of your key players for the game tonight?
Yes, ma'am. Let's do it. The two key players I have are the point guard. So I'm going to start with Dejante Murray. He's long, he's athletic, he can defend multiple positions from the 1 to the 3. I've looked at some stats. He's averaging about 15, 16 points a game, about 7 assists. And I think he's finally arrived in the league. He had a couple years where he wasn't completely healthy. But as you can see, he's an ultimate defender. And you can see his length. He reminds me of almost like a Jamal Crawford when he first came into the league and was playing point guard. He can get into his bag, right? He can finish at the rim. And of course, probably one of the most important things is that he's an excellent defender. As you see him come off the screen and roll, he snakes a little bit around the screen and roll and finishes easily with both hands, right? For the Grizzlies, it's a point guard matchup. To me, and I said this yesterday, it's always been a point guard lead. And so when I look at the Grizzlies, obviously, the most intriguing matchup for me is Ja Morant going against Dejante Murray, two young point guards. And again, the numbers are almost the same. Ja Morant a little bit more in scoring, but about 7 assists. He controls the floor. And so when you look at Ja Morant, obviously you think explosiveness. You think, highlight reel. He's one of those players that can really electrify a whole stadium. So you see him going up here for the one-hand plays. You see him make a lot of plays that, only maybe one or two guys in the league can make. And so I really like his game. And I think he's starting to mature in terms of being a leader, a vocal leader on the floor. He has a great defensive presence, on the perimeter. And so I think it's going to be a great game. Dallas kind of gave his pick. I'm just going to go against Dallas just for the sake of arguing. I like Memphis. I think they're going to run. I think they're going to get out in transition. But I feel like age, experience, and coaching is going to come into play. So I'll take the Spurs just because he took the Grizzlies.
For sure.
So considering that the two of you're on two different sides, what do you think is going to be the most important part of securing the W tonight? What are some of those steps for success per team?
For me, obviously coaching in the system. I've been a fan of Coach Popovich for a long time, going back to the Spurs with Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, Kawhi Leonard. So I think coaching in the system is going to come into play. That's a system that's been in place for some time. Experience and just that psychological advantage of being older. You got Patty Mills, you got Rudy Gay, you got DeRozan, you got guys that have been in the playoffs, they've been in tough situations. And so they know how to handle themselves. They know, when it's time to put your head down and go get a bucket, get to the line. And then just the efficiency of the game, just going back to coaching, going back to a system. I feel like the team that's going to be most efficient, particularly in key stretches of the game, is probably going to be the most successful team. So, again, I give that edge to the Spurs.
Sure. I think the steps for success for the Spurs would be exactly what Coach Parker said, having those older players. Been there. Them cats seasoned in the playoffs, both conferences, Rudy been down deep in the playoffs, Western Conference. DeMar been in the Eastern Conference. Patty Mills have been in the finals. They got the experience along with Coach Pop. That'll be the reason that the Spurs win the game. And also, like I said, that bench gonna have to come to play with those couple of those young cats and then the older veterans on the bench. Just a role player besides Dejante and DeMar DeRozan, like Rudy. Rudy gonna have to come hoop. Patty Mills gonna have to come hoop. Lonnie Walker gonna have to come hoop. And even Ebanks and Vassell, all of those key role players will have to come play for the Spurs in order to beat Memphis because Memphis is the more talented team. The three keys, I think, for the Memphis Grizzlies will be offensive rebounding. Valanciunas is probably one of the highest offensive rebounding centers in the league. And Memphis is the number one offensive rebounding team in the NBA because of Valanciunas. But Memphis also got Jaren Jackson back. So it'll be the bigs. I think the paint, Memphis will have to control the paint in order to win, and they will have to hit their three-point shots. If Memphis hits their three-point shots, they can beat any team on any given night in the NBA because they always going to have the big fella and they're going to control the paint. And once you have to double and you have to kick out to those shooters like Allen if he plays, Ja Morant doesn't shoot the three, but he makes the decision and get it to the right person that will shoot the three at a high rate. So he'll do the extra pass, the skip pass to the corner to Dylan Brooks, even Melton, Kyle. So those would be like the keys. Memphis has to control the paint and not turn the ball over against San Antonio. Even though San Antonio is a lot older with Murray at the point guard, them in the open court with DeMar DeRozan, Murray, Gay, they could finish in the open court pretty well and they'll make the right decision.
If I can add, I like what you said. I think Memphis has a chance to win. I'm not throwing Memphis away. Obviously they're a transition running team. If they can defend DeRozan, if they can slow him down, and I would just say throw bodies at him. You got Justice Winslow, you got Kyle Anderson, and even Dylan Brooks can get a little physical for him. And then the whole energy and excitement and the effort. So I call it the 3 E's: the energy, excitement, and effort. So you got all these young guys. I was looking at their roster. They don't have anybody over 30 that's a real contributor. So they got fresh legs. So they got the energy, they got the excitement. And I feel like if they can give that extra effort, they do have a chance. So I'm not throwing them away, but I just think in playoff basketball, if I was to place a bet, I would always go with experience over youth. So but if they will pull it out, they're gonna have to run away. Right? They're gonna have to run. They're gonna have to get out in transition. They got to get them dunks. The steals, the dunking for loose balls. So that's why I'll give them the edge in terms of energy, excitement, and effort.
Okay. Well, that's one of the big games tonight. So I think it's time to transition now. We can start to talk about the Lakers and Warriors game. So do you all want to talk a little bit of a brief overview about that game that's coming up?
Yeah, this is the game that everybody's been waiting on, right? So this is the game that is probably the most anticipated play-in game, if you will. But I would first look at the key players, and y'all got to forgive me. I'm a point guard, and so I always look at who's running the show. Obviously, LeBron is the point guard for the Lakers, and so I'm gonna throw that name out. We already know what LeBron is gonna do. He's gonna give you points. He's gonna give you rebounds. He's gonna give you assists. He's gonna control the tempo. But I like the matchup. So I like the matchup at point guard between Dennis Schroeder and Steph Curry. And so when you think about Schroeder, I call him Dennis the Menace. Somebody else coined that term, Dennis the Menace. He has a way of getting under people's skin. He has a way of, just being an agitator. And so when I think of Dennis, you look at somebody who, if given the minutes, he can get you 23, 24 points a game. But because he's on the Lakers team, he has to kind of defer. And so right now, Dennis is averaging about 15, 16 points a game. About 5 or 6 assists. And again, you've seen him. I've seen him get under the skin of one of my favorite players, if not my favorite player, Chris Paul. And he's shifty. He has the stop and the start. Once he gets you on the island, it's his show. And so if he can get out into some one-on-one situations, and even with Curry, I feel like he has an opportunity to put Curry on his heels, push Curry around maybe a little bit and kind of get under his skin. So I think the key is, if we can get Curry, if he can get Curry to kind of, bubble up a little bit, and kind of get discombobulated, I think, that's going to be the key. So again, Schroeder, if he can be a little bit better than half of Curry, so Curry averages about 32, if Schroeder can give you about 17, I think he can kind of neutralize. On the other side, we all know the 2-time, 3-time MVP, Finals MVP, awesome point guard, and Steph Curry. He's obviously the key. He's the engine for the whole team. He's the reason that they're here. Without Curry, they pretty much are, a non-factor in any conference. And so we look at Curry, he's leading the league in scoring. He's probably one of the best shooters, if not the best shooter, in the game that has ever played the game. And so, the key for them is obviously giving Curry the space to operate, And I think everybody, particularly because I think one of the players, Oubre, is out, we're going to have to give Curry, his shots. So I think Curry's going to get 25 or 30 shots. And from that, if Curry can get over his average, put up about 38, 39 points, I think that gives them the best opportunity to win. Obviously, with Oubre out, they're going to lose maybe 17, 18 points. And so, Curry is the team. He's the engine. So he has to get going. And he knows how to do that. He's a veteran. He's been playing this game long enough to understand what the situation is.
Okay. So in reference to your prediction tonight, who would you end up picking, the Warriors or the Lakers?
I got to go with the Lakers. They clearly have a talent advantage. They have a size advantage. They have a bench advantage. They have advantages in most of the categories. And again, the only advantage that the Warriors have is that they have probably the best shooter on the floor. Not probably the best shooter on the floor. So again, that's why I consider Schroeder the key, because if Schroeder can give you half of what Curry gives you, or a little bit more, it almost neutralizes the Curry effect on the game. But you got the Lakers probably have three of the best rebounders in the game in Drummond, AD, Anthony Davis, and then they coming off the bench with just a monster, a beast on the glass. And man, what's my boy name? Dallas, you got to help me out, man.
Montrez, Mr. Harrell.
Man, Mr. Harrell. Mr. Harrell comes off. Yeah, he plays with reckless abandon. He's probably one of the hardest working guys in the league. And so, with them three guys cleaning up the glass, yeah, Draymond has no. He doesn't have a chance, down there with three guys. It's three guys that actually have him beat in terms of size and strength and, and technique and boxing out.
So we talked a little bit about predictions, Dallas, but we didn't really truly get to go into your key players yet. So who are some of your key players for the Lakers-Warriors game tonight?
My key player for the Lakers, for the Warriors would be actually Mr. Wiggins, Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins gonna have to come to play along with the whole Warriors supporting cast. It can't just be Andrew, but Andrew is gonna have to lead the supporting cast. If it's with his electrifying dunks, if it's with his 3-point shooting out of the double teams, or whatever, Andrew Wiggins is going to have to bring to the game. He's going to have to bring all three aspects of the game. He's going to have to be shot blocking, defense, running the floor in transition, just being a Robin to the Batman, I'm going to call him, Draymond and Curry. Draymond and Curry are one accord. They going to be somebody else. Wiggins happy Wiggins got 25 tonight. He got to have 25 for the Warriors. And pools make some things off the bench.
We lost Dallas.
Yeah, his service was going in and out a little bit.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, I if I can just kind of pick up, because we were talking about like keys.
Yeah, some of the success.
Yeah, for success. I mentioned it with the Lakers. I didn't really touch on the Warriors, but for the Lakers, obviously dominating the paint. They got a size advantage, a huge size advantage. They have a huge rebounding advantage, but also their bench. But Dallas is back. I'm just gonna finish mine. Dallas, we'll bring you back. For the Warriors, the 3-point line. That's the greatest equalizer in the game for the smaller players like a Steph Curry or for a smaller team. So the biggest equalizer that the Warriors will have is to be able to knock down threes. And then I got to give my boy Draymond some credit. He's that guy. He reminds me of the guys I played with on 79th Street. They may not be able to shoot the ball. They may not be a good dribbler. But somehow we call it county ball. He plays county ball. So if he can agitate somebody, if he can agitate LeBron, if he can agitate AD, and we know that's his MO. He's going to come out there. He's going to try to get under somebody's skin. I think it gives them another edge, that they can play off of. And then as Dallas mentioned, Wiggins, you got to have somebody else. With Oubre out, Wiggins has to be, the Scottie Pippen, of the floor. He has to defend in multiple positions, and he has to give you, 20 plus points at least in order for them to have a chance.
Do you want to briefly touch on some of your steps for success for that game, Dallas?
My steps for success for that game is just the Warriors not being scared of the big dog. And the biggest part about them not being scared of the big dog is their leaders, Draymond and Mr. Curry. Like, for instance, it's a clip from actually a couple weeks ago when they asked Curry, man, y'all got to play the Lakers in the play-in probably. How you feel about that? And let's see. Hey, I think we got the clip here. This is the clip actually.
Did you know Beal had 50 before it tipped tonight?
Of course I did.
Okay. Did you know how many you needed to take the lead?
No, I didn't go that level. I watched everybody in the league. I know what he's doing. He's obviously playing at a high level. But anytime somebody gets 50, you hear about it.
Did you think about it at all from a scoring title perspective?
I'm not sure if this is the part where he's talking about.
That is a.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to speak on yesterday. Everybody was like, had Curry played first and Bill played second, I feel like Bill would have won the scoring title because it's always like, what are you shooting for? Right. So he's like, okay, Bill had 50. This is what I need to win the scoring title. That's what I'm going to get. And the whole team feeds into that. We're going to get our man the ball so that he can get another accolade under his belt because not only does he want it for himself, but we want that for him as well. Yeah.
And I also think that steps for success for the Warriors will also be the 3-point line. Like I said, the supporting cast, the 3-point line, and they will have to rebound. They're going to have to gain rebound. Everyone's going to have to rebound the ball, not just Draymond, not just the center. They have to be Curry going to have to rebound. Everyone's going to have to rebound because the Lakers are the bigger team. You got to box out and rebound when the team is bigger than you. Also, for the Lakers, I think the keys to success will be Anthony Davis, Montrezl Harrell, those big fellas just controlling the paint. I think Frank Vogel is a smart enough coach that at some point in time, if Curry gets hot, he would just play Anthony Davis at the 5 That way he can hedge and switch on screens instead of having Drummond out there, another big where Curry can come off the screen and see a big that's not used to guarding someone like Steph Curry every single night, and he might lay off of him, let him shoot a three, or he might get too close. Curry can finish at the rim. So I think coaching will be a big factor because Steve Kerr can coach him up a game. The paint, and also the Lakers gonna have to make some threes because the Warriors gonna pack it in the paint, double, scrap, dig, all that type of stuff. And if the Lakers are missing the threes when they kick out to them, they just might be playing again, trying to get in the playoffs because Curry can go for 50 points on any given night and beat any given team at any given era of the NBA. Anybody. That 3-point shot is the great equalizer, just like Coach Parker said. And dude was a bad man.
Yeah, that boy good. That boy good.
So for the Lakers Warrior games, both of you have two different teams winning, and for the Spurs Grizzlies, you both have two different teams winning, correct?
That's correct.
No,
I got
Lakers.
Oh, okay.
I got Lakers.
I got Lakers.
Curry gotta have 60, but I mean it ain't. I don't think there's no way they're gonna beat him for real. But I think it's gonna be a Steph Curry show.
Yeah, I got a stat line. I don't know if you're giving out your best bet. This is a long shot, so I don't know if anybody wants to play this one, but this is a stat line. Draymond Green, 10 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, and a tech. That's a tough bet. Yeah, he's gonna get a tech. He'll get a tech. Yeah, 10, 10, 10, and 1.
Okay,
right?
okay.
Yeah, 10 points, 10. I'm kind of doing my, you know what I'm saying? Let me feel it in my bones. I give him 10, 10, 10, and 1. He has, but my best bet is that Draymond will get a tech before the game is out.
For sure. I got a couple bets for that game too, man. I might get out an extra free bet on top of the free pick of the night. I like the Lakers second quarter. This something just to give y'all a little sauce on this. Steph Curry will play the whole first quarter in every game that the Warriors play. Steph Curry is going to play the first 12 minutes of the game every time. That's because he rests the next 7 minutes of the second quarter. 7 to 6 minutes of the second quarter, Steph is going to be on the bench. So I think the Lakers will be able to dominate to start off the second quarter because, one, the Warriors do not have a backup center. They don't have one. There's not one on the roster. Wiseman is injured, and Looney is starting. So with Looney inserted in the starting lineup, it's either going to be Juan Scasano Anderson or they're going to leave Draymond in to play center for the second unit. So they're going to be small. Coming off the Lakers bench is Montrezl Harrell, the monster. The Lakers will feed the ball through Montrezl the whole start of the second quarter, and one of those supporting casts that's not ready for this moment for the Warriors, like Mulder or Jordan Poole, will have to step up and keep the Warriors in the game. That's what they play every time when Steph come out. Can we just stay close? Can we just stay close till Steph come back? And I don't think against the Lakers they'll be able to stay close because it'll always be some killers on the floor. It's going to be Kuzma out there in that second unit, Harrell out there in that second unit, Caruso, Taylor, Chicago's finest, Simeon. And also I think that Vogel will at least play 1 point guard the whole time. So either Schroeder or LeBron will be out on the floor the whole time tonight, along with Taylor.
So in reference to the Warriors not having Damian Lee and Kelly Oubre Jr., do you all think that that'll really be a factor?
Yes, ma'am. I feel like Oubre was probably their third option, and sometimes he became their second option. So he's kind of a hybrid between a Wiggins and a Curry, and that he can guard in multiple positions. So I definitely think it affects him. So yeah, I would say more so Oubre than the other person. I'm not even concerned about that other name. Who did you say? Who's the other name?
Steph Curry, brother-in-law.
Lee.
Yeah, that's his brother-in-law, man. He on the team because
I forgot who he was. Yeah.
Let me not knock Damian Lee like that though. He has.
No, I'm not. He's in the league. He's a ball player. Yeah, he's a ball player. Anybody in the NBA is a ball player. But in terms of showing up and having an impact in this particular game, I don't see it. I never saw Damian Lee showing up as opposed to a Oubre or even James Wiseman who's out.
Mm-hmm. I think the biggest thing on that injury report is that Lakers side says no injuries. That's the biggest part. That team at full strength for the first time we have just seen, and I don't remember the last time the Lakers was totally full strength, like nobody on the injury report. So this is gonna be real interesting tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so since this is Legal Licks, every episode we give out a free pick. Dallas, are you ready to give out your free pick for tonight?
Yeah, let's give it out. Let's see. Chicago Sky. I like the Chicago Sky tonight. Candace Parker is on the Sky now. She's back in our area. The Sky was already a dominant team last year before Candace was part of the team. They had the guard play. They had small forward play, Diamond DeShields, Vandersloot. The backcourt for the Sky is actually married together. They're married. Alex Quigley and Vandersloot, Courtney Vandersloot. Vandersloot led the WNBA in assists last year. Quigley leads the WNBA in three-point shot percentage. Now they add Candace Parker to the mix, also with Stephanie Dolson, the big sister. But now the Sky can run the floor. Candace plays like the point forward. When she gets the rebound, she goes right up the floor and makes the right decision in transition due to her experience. And she's blocking shots. Candace is revived. She loved being here. I don't think she wants to see the Sky lose not one game this year. So especially not against this Atlanta Dream team. The Atlanta Dream, they're missing one of their key players in Cheyenne Parker. She actually used to play for the Sky last year. She plays forward, kind of a little bit center, but she could score the ball, and she's the heart and soul of most of the teams she play on because her defensive intensity and how much passion she has for the game. The Dream are missing her again. I don't see how they keep it close with the Sky at all. Also, another thing you can look at that game is the Dream team total under 80. Coach for the Sky, he preaches defense. Candace is going to preach defense. The Sky are going to be one of the top defensive teams in the WNBA this year. I think it's going to be pretty hard for the Dream to score 80 points on them. So you can either play the Sky or the under 80 for the Dream. I think it'll be a solid pick for tonight.
Well, look, and plus, I feel like on the Sky alone, having Candace, Kalia Cooper, they both already get nearly 20 points every game. That's 40 points right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, guys. I think that's it. Do you have any final comments for this episode?
Draymond, I'm going to give it to you again. I'm going to call you. Let me know if I get close. 10, 10, 10, and 1. 10 points, 10 assists, 10 rebounds, and 1 tech.
All right, cool, man. I'm going to leave y'all with this. I think Drummond might get a little double-double tonight, too. As long as they don't play Anthony Davis at the 5 and take out Drummond because he can't guard Curry, Drummond going to have a double-double probably by the third quarter. He going to get them offensive rebounds and go right up on them little fellas out there. And maybe Montrezl Harrell, too, depending on how many minutes he get. But the big fellas will dominate. And let's go Lakers. Sit back and watch these games tonight. Going to be some good games.
Let's do it.
All right. So we are 1-0. Hopefully tomorrow we can come back and still be undefeated, but we'll have to see. And that closes out today's episode. Bye, guys.
All right. Bye.